अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मत्परगुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मत्सरगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीरङ्गनाथशरगोपैकीन्द्र द्रष्टुं लक्ष्मीं नृसिंहशरीरकरुणैकपात्रं श्रीरङ्गवीररघुराजशरगोपहृज्यं वेदान्तदेशिकेन्द्रमां प्रपद्ये श्रीमते श्रीवंशरगोपश्रीवेदान्तदेशिकेन्द्र नमः देशिकाय नमः। ॐ रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनरसमारम्भां नाथयामनमच्छमामस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहत तदितराणि प्रणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोः भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं दैवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नरेण we are there almost. Maybe in 1 or 2 sessions we'll be able to complete. Right now we are looking at Anushasana Parvam, post Mahabharata war, and various aspects of dharma are there discussed, just as we have seen in Shanti Parvam, here in Anushasana Parvam also. So one such topic of interest is, what is this karma and karma phalam? Karma and karma phalam. Anything we do is called karma. Anything that results out of our actions is called karma phalam. And the karma phalam nobody can escape. When Yudhishthira asked the same question, Pitamaha Bhishma is explaining to Yudhishthira. Now, he is giving us what kind of karma phalam are we going to have. Whatever we do, our own pancha gnanendriyas, pancha karmendriyas, and our mind are the witnesses. So here in this particular case, whenever a guest comes, especially an uninvited guest, in the good olden days they used to do Atithi Satkaram, means taking care of that uninvited guest. When somebody comes, if you can give some water to wash their feet, if you can give a seat for them to sit, and if you can give some food and a place to rest, etc. These are called Pancha Dakshinas. That itself is like a yajnam that you are doing. Some families meticulously do that. It is like a Pancha Dakshinas in a yajnam. Now, if you do dhanam, you get dharam. Anything that we give for charity will result in coming back to us in the form of wealth. That is why Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Yajna Dana Tapah Karma Natyajam Karyameva Tat. Mahabharata says, Dhanam Labheta Danena. And if you can maintain silence, you will be able to command. And if you can control your senses, you will have longevity. If you can maintain ahimsa, non-violence, if you can maintain non-violence, you get Aishwaryam. Rupam Aishwaryam Arogyam Ahimsa Phalamuchyate. Phalamashnate. Swargam Satyena Labhate. Dikshaya Kulamuttamam. Mahabharata says Satyam. Post death, you want to enjoy Swarga Bhogas. Nothing wrong in aspiring. Stick to Satyam. You will enjoy in heavens. Stick to Satyam. You will enjoy in heavens. You maintain, you keep up the word that you have given, like ashrama dharmas. I will follow brahmacharya dharma, grihastha dharmam, vanaprastha dharmam, sannyasa dharmam. If we cannot get moksham, at least you'll get uttama janma in the next time. You know, one important aspect of Mahabharata, suppose you are physically not able to follow dharma, physically not able to follow dharma. You know what is dharma, dharma, but physically you are not able to follow. You know what Mahabharata says? Manasam hi charan dharmam swargalokam upashmite. Even if you try to follow dharmam in your mind, manasikam, you will get swargalokam. Do you understand this sentence, sir? Can one of you explain what you have understood in this sentence? You know what is dharmam, but physically you have constraints that you cannot follow that. But if you can follow that mentally in your mind, at least you'll get swargam. Manasam hi charan dharmam swargalokam upashnate. Yama, do you understand? Anybody who could not follow this sentence? Let's say there is a lady. She wants to follow dharmam. Her family circumstances. She is a housewife. She is not an earning member. The husband earns. The husband uses his authority to boss over the wife and makes her cook certain food, forbidden stuff. She has no choice. Personally, she doesn't want to eat. Personally, she doesn't want to cook. But she has no choice. She is forced to do that. During such circumstances, at least if you can mentally say, Krishna, forgive me. This is not for me. I am forced to do this. Forgive me, forgive me. You will not get that sin. You will at least get Swargaloka. A real-time practical example. Now, the concept of karma following us birth after birth, wherever we are, this Jivatma, is given in a very simple way in Mahabharata. Yasa dhyena sahasreshu vatso vindati mataram evam purvakrutam karma kartaram anugacchati. There are thousands of cows in a cattle shed. Thousands of cows in a cattle shed. And a calf comes there, even though it is a newborn calf. It just walks slowly to its own mother. 99% of the time, most of the cows are looking alike. 99% of the time, most of the cows are looking alike. There are 1,000 cows in a cattle shed. Just leave a calf. It will just walk until it goes to its own mother cow and starts suckling there. How is it possible? Same way, this Jivatma, in whichever body it is, the karma that we did will find how to come and attach to the Jivatma. Now come to the next one. Sometimes we are in a hurry. We want quick results, Krishna, quick results, Krishna. Krishna follows his own schedule. What is that? Okay, we are in America. All right, East Coast, New York, where you have snow season, December, January, February. Okay, December, lot of snow. January, you pray, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. This is too much snow, Krishna. We want spring right away. We want spring right away. Or better make it summer, Krishna. It won't happen. Krishna, let all the flowers come now, Krishna. It won't happen. What Mahabharata says, आचोद्यमानानि यथा पुष्पाणि च फलानि च स्वकालं नातिवर्तन्ते तथा कर्म पुराकृतम्. Just as the flowers and fruits will appear on the streets only at their appointed times, only in spring, Vasantakalam, just as the flowers and fruits appear on the plants or trees at their appointed times, same way our Purakruta karma will start giving us the results at the appropriate time. That is the most important one. Then Krishna, if we ask, Krishna, I want to be good, but even though I am very old, my mind is not at rest, Krishna. I still want to enjoy, the mind says, but the body cannot. Why? Krishna, Vedavyasa in Mahabharata gives a beautiful example. जीर्यन्ति जीर्यतः केशाः दन्ता जीर्यन्ति जीर्यतः चक्षुश्रोत्रे च जीर्येते तृष्णैकातु न जीर्यते. Very wonderfully Vedavyasa says, Bhishma Pitamaha is conveying to Yudhishthira, we are all getting old. As we get old, our hair will fall down. As we get old, our teeth will fall down. Our eyesight will diminish. The ability to hear will be reduced. The body is losing the strength. But what is not going down is our desire. So one has to control the mind. Physically, the body has shown all the symptoms of old age. Jiryanti jiryatah keshaha danta jiryanti jiryatah chakshushotre cha jiryate prashnaika nutijiryate. Everything is just dropping out. Everything is just dropping down. Hair is falling down. People get bald, no hair. The teeth will fall away. Eyesight is less. Ears can't hear properly. Everything is just losing its vigor. The only thing that is not losing its vigor is our desire. Trishna. When we talked about Paratantram, some of you could not feel comfortable. See what Mahabharata says again. If you can find an Acharya who is always your well-wisher, who will always tell you the right thing to do, we are very fortunate. And of course, it is up to you to follow your Acharya's instructions. Why? Mahabharata says in the Karma Phalam, Yena Prinati Pitaram, Tena Pritaha Prajapatihi, Prinati Mataram Yena, Prithvi Tena Pujita, Yena Prinati Upadhyayam, Tena Syad Brahma Pujitam. In our Vedas, it is very clearly mentioned, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atidhi Devo Bhava. In Mahabharata, in the Karmaphalam, we have seen how if you can serve an uninvited guest as though Bhagavan himself has come to your house, it will give you greatest bhagyam. Now he is telling about the other three, about the other three, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, and Acharya Devo Bhava. You want to hear that? Yena Prinati Pitaram, Tena Pritaha Prajapatihi. If you can serve your father, and if your father says, I'm so happy, my child, it is as good as you have pleased the four-faced Brahma. Prinati Mataram Yena Pridhivi Tena Pujita. If you can serve your mother, and if your mother can say one word, if your mother can say one word, that I'm so happy with you, my child, you are serving me so wonderfully. If your mother can say that one sentence, I'm so happy with you, my child, and with your service, it is as good as you have pleased the entire Mother Earth, Bhudevi. And here comes, Yena Prinatu Upadhyayam, Tena Syad Brahma Pujitam. Paratantram, see how he says. If you can please your Acharya, if you can serve your Acharya, and if your Acharya can say, I'm so happy that you are serving me so selflessly. If your Acharya can say that word, you please the Paramatma, Sriman Narayana himself. I hope now you understand why Upanishads are saying, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atidhi Devo Bhava. Atidhi Satkaram will give you Swargalokam. If you can serve your father and the father is pleased, Brahmalokam. You please your mother, anything you want on earth, you can get. Anything you want on earth, you will get. Whereas if you can please your Acharya, you can serve your Acharya, and if your Acharya is pleased with you, you please Sriman Narayana. Karma Phalam. Preetika, are you there, Amma? Sri Kriti, are you there?
Yes, Swamiji. Narayana Swamiji.
Can you repeat what I said?
Swamiji, నాకు ఇంకా కొంచెం అర్థం కాలేదు స్వామీజీ మళ్ళీ చెప్తారా?
I know You only log in, but you fall asleep, right? Or you are busy with something else, right, Ra?
No, Swamiji.
It's okay. Pritika, are you there? Pritika, are you there? No. You see, we have wonderful kids. Hmm. I thought they are kids. They will be listening very nicely, I thought. My estimation is not correct. Okay. Divakar, are you there? Not only kids.
Yes, Acharya.
Oh, you are there. I thought you log in, be busy. Okay. What did you understand from this, Divakar?
Serving the Acharya is like serving Narayana.
The take about the other three. All right. Ma, there is no point in just logging on if you don't listen. And there is no point in listening if you don't remember. And there is no point in remembering if you don't put it into practice. These are the four things that are all interlinked. Okay. If you can please a guest, you will get Swargalokam. If you can please your father, you will get Brahmalokam. If you can please your mother, you get whatever you want on planet Earth, as though you have pleased the Mother Earth. If you can please your Acharya, it is as good as you have pleased Sriman Narayana himself. So that is how karma phalam. Now, we have lots of questions. And we would like to have answers from the scriptures. Yudhishthira asked, Bhishma Pitamaha, I heard Aputrasya Gatir Nasti, they say. So, how will a son help the father, parents? For which Bhishma Pitamaha is saying, the same question was asked by Markandeya Maharshi, and Narada Maharshi gave this kind of reply. Because one day, Markandeya came to a place called Triveni Sangamam. Ganga, Yamuna, we call Saraswati, some people call it Bhogavati. So in that Triveni Sangamam, the present day Allahabad or Prayaga, great Mahatmas were sitting there one day. Asita, Devala, Parvata, Narada, Aruneya, Raibhya, Markandeya Maharshi came there and said, how fortunate I am. I am able to see Devarshi Narada here. Mahatmas Asita, Devala, Aruneya, Parvata, Raibhya. And he is asking, Dharma will be there, wonderfully followed in Krutayugam, but as soon as Krutayugam is over, people will be subjected to moham, unwanted attachments, and dharma will go down. So how to understand dharma? For which Narada Maharshi is replying, Narada is directly asking, come to the point, Dirghayu. You yourself attained Dirghayutvam. Tell me what is the specific question. Are you thinking about dharmam or lokopakaram or something else? Markandeya specifically asked, Swami, yuge yuge vyatitesmin dharmasetuhu pranashyati. Kadam dharmacchalenaham prapnayamiti me matihi. Swami, as we pass on from Kruta Yugam to Treta Yugam to Dwapara Yugam to Kali Yugam, dharma is not followed properly. Tell me, Mahatma, how dharma is there not practiced to the full extent from yuga to yuga? Narada Maharshi straight away started answering. Asid dharma pura vipra chatushpadha krite yugi. Tato hi adharma kalina pravruttaha kinchidunnataha. Narada Maharshi said, Mahatma Markandeya, if it is Kruta Yugam, Dharma Devata is there on all its 4 feet. Satyam, Daya, Danam, Shaucham. The 4 feet of Dharma Devata. But as time passes on, slowly, Adharmam will creep and Dharmam will be reduced. In Krutayugam, Dharma is there on all its 4 feet. Means 100% people followed Dharma. 100%. Tatastretayugam namaha pravrittam dharmadushanam tasmin gyatite sampraptam trutiyam dvaparam yugam tada dharmasya dvaupado adharmo nashayishyati. Narada Maharshi says, Krutayugam has gone where Dharma was on all 4 feet. Tretayugam has come. People started abusing Dharma. Dharma dushana. So in Treta Yuga, Dharma is reduced only to 75%. When it comes to Dwapara Yuga, Dharma is reduced to 50%, only Dvipadam on 2 feet. Now, when Dwapara Yuga has gone, Kali Yugam has come. That's it. In Kali Yuga, Dharmam is there only on Ekapadam, 25%. This Padam can be compared as the 4 feet of Dharma Devata. If Dharma Devata is there in the form of a cow, the 4 feet of Dharma Devata are Satyam, Daya, Danam, Shaucham. Or if you want to put it, Dharma Devata as 100% perfection, 100% perfection in Kruta Yuga, 75% following Dharma in Treta Yuga, 50% in Dwapara Yuga, and 25% only in Kali Yuga. That is why in Kali Yuga, this is called a Nandikam. Nandikam means where Dharmam is there on 25%, 21%, 1/4. People are very, very dull-witted. They are not sharp. People will live for a very short period. Even their physical ability, prana shakti, is much less. People will be devoid of dhanam and dharma vartana. Now, Markandeya Maharshi is asking, if there is no dharma, then what happens to the Havyam and Kavyam? Havyam, what you offer to Devi Devatas in the homas. Kavyam, what you offer with Veda mantras to the Pitru Devatas, departed souls. Narada clearly says, Veda Vakyam is Pavitram. In any yuga, Veda Vakyam cannot go wrong. Therefore, if you follow the Vedic procedure and do the yajnam, you will still get the benefit, not because you are not following dharma, because of the satyam that is embedded in the Veda Vakyam. Same thing, if you follow the procedure and offer oblations to the departed souls, Pitru Devatas will accept it. Now comes this may be very difficult to you practically, don't feel bad about it. If you have a daughter, Mahabharata says, do Kanya Danam at the right time. Any father who does Kanya Danam at the right time will get full Kanya Dana Phalam. People are asking many questions. Oh, that means the marriages we do for our daughters, don't we get the Kanya Dana Phalam? Why are you asking me that question? The scriptures say that do Kanya Danam at the appropriate time. Do the Danam at appropriate time, you will get the full benefit of it. Kale dattasu kanyasu pita dharmena yujjate. Kale dattasu kanyasu. One who does kanyadanam at the appropriate time. Pita dharmena yujjate. That father who is doing the kanyadanam will get the full kanyadana phalam. There are more details which may not be very palatable to you. If anyone or if you are interested in more details about kanyadanam, call me or send a message. I'll send you privately, because publicly to explain them is very difficult. Now, whenever there is a mangala karyam, means a shubham, like a pattabhishekam, etc., they ask young girls below 12 years of age to come and light the lamps, bring the lamps, do the arati, etc. What is the greatness that why should they ask only very little girls below age 12 to do that? They are called kanyas. The little girls who have not yet become pushpavatis are called kanyas. Markandeya is asking, why only the little girls are preferred for mangala karyas? Narada Maharshi directly is telling, Nityam nivasate lakshmi kanyakasu pratishtita shobhana shubhayogya cha puja mangala karmasu. Narada Maharshi is saying, Mahatma Markandeya, Sri Mahalakshmi stays with the kanyas who have not reached Rajaswala age. Before their becoming Pushpavatis, Mahalakshmi stays with them. Akarastam yatharatnam sarvakama phalopagam तथा कन्या महालक्ष्मी सर्वलोकस्य मंगलम. Suppose you have a diamond in a mine. Naturally, when you can get that diamond, it will get you unimaginable wealth. So just as the diamond is there inside a mine, you just have to use it, mine it, and then get the diamonds. You will become rich. Same way, Mahalakshmi, who is there inherently living inside the Kanyas, will give you the best results of Mangalakarini, Sarvalokasya Mangalam. That doesn't mean married ladies should not be there for doing the harati or bringing the lamps, etc. But preferably they say with the kanyas. Of course, when you grow, when you are getting married, when you have family life, when you have children, there are different rules for you. They are also glorified. Sadhi kulam vardhayati swadhi prashtir gruhe sada. Sadhi lakshmi rati sakshat pratishta santati stadha. If the little girls have served Bhagavan before they are becoming Pushpavatis, they are married, they become sadhvis, means ladies with a very good nature according to dharma. She will purify the family. She will increase the majesty of the house. She will be giving you wonderful children who enhance the family prestige. Now, Bhagavan has given us the right hand for Vaidika karmas. The auspiciousness of the right hand, Tirtham, Devatirtham, Rishitirtham, Brahmatirtham, Pitrutirtham, from the four sides of the hand, there is the fifth one also, Panchamatirtham called Vishnu Tirtham. If you take water and release the water from the tips of your fingers, say you kept your two hands together, you collected the water and you leave it down from the tips of your finger, it is called Devatirtham. If you can leave the water between your two hands, that is, suppose your right hand, in the right hand you open your palm and your thumb is on the right side and the other flat surface near just below your little finger. If you can leave the water down from the left side of your palm, it's called Rushitirtham. If you can leave the water between your thumb and the index finger, between the thumb and the index finger, it is called Pitrutirtham. If you can leave the water from your wrist, that is when you are drinking, etc., it's called Brahmatirtham. When the water is there kept in the middle of your palm, it's called Vishnu Tirtham. That is why when you take Tirtham, you make your palm like a cup where the thumb will be there either between the index finger and the middle finger, or the index finger is folded touching the base of the thumb. It's called Gokarna Rupam. At that point, if you can take that Tirtham in your palm, it becomes Vishnu Tirtham. Now, Markandeya is asking, Swami, you are talking about Dharmam. Even great Mahatmas who follow Dharma sometimes make mistakes. How to understand that? Mahatmas make mistakes sometimes. How to understand that? Narada Maharshi is very, very straightforward in his reply. Ardhascha naryascha samanametat shreyamsi pumsam iha mohayanti rati pramodat pramadaharanti bhogair dhanam chapi upahanti dharman. Again, don't take it personally. Dharma is there like a sharp-edged sword that is sharp on both sides. So Narada Maharshi is giving a very wonderful reply. If anybody wants to follow dharmam, perfect dharmam, stay in isolation. Go near money, go near woman. There will be adharmam. Adharmam will creep in when money comes into play. Adharmam will creep in dealing with ladies. Therefore, stay 6 feet away. Not 6 feet, but maintain your distance. Ardhascha naryascha samanametat shreyamsi pumsam iha mohayanti. People will be deluded by the power of money, by the attraction of ladies. Control your mind to keep your senses under control. Then you can follow dharma. People who want to follow dharma, now you understand why at some point or other people will retreat into isolation just to stay away from dhanam and women. Narada Maharshi's reply.
Swamiji, manaki like for money, Swamiji, don't we need some money like for daily needs and things, Swamiji?
That is a good point, Amma. That's a good point. So you're worried if you don't have money, how do you live daily, right, Amma?
Yes, Swamiji.
When you do complete renunciation, you renounce three things. Can you tell me, Sri Kriti, what they are? I'm happy, Sri Kriti, you're listening and you're asking. Next time when you come, whenever there is a puja, you come in a nice pattu pavada and blouse. You can bring the lamps to Krishna. You can bring everything. You can do all services to Krishna.
Okay, Swamiji.
Of little girls. Now, coming back to your question. You know, when a person renounces three things he has to renounce, you know that what are they, ma?
Money, Swamiji, property.
Dhaneshana, Dareshana, Putreshana. You have to promise, I will stay away from money. I will stay away from wife. I will stay away from children. These are the three things that bind you to samsara. Dhanam, Dara, and Putra. Money, spouse, and children. Stay away from them. Krishna will take care of you. That's why people who renounce, they don't stay with their family. They don't stay with their wife or husband. They don't stay with their children. They completely depend on Krishna. They stay in an ashram. They stay in a temple. And the temple will provide them, or the ashram will provide them, some food, some clothes, and some place to sleep.
Okay, Swamiji.
Therefore, this is not for the family members. This is for the people who want to follow dharmam at its 100% level.
Oh, okay, Swamiji. Narayana.
స్వామిజీ సంసారంలో ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీస్ అన్ని
అర్థం కాలేదు, కొంచెం గట్టిగా చెప్పమ్మా. అర్థం కాలేదు.
సంసారంలో ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీస్ అన్ని అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఇది చేయొచ్చు కదా స్వామిజీ.
These are not for the people. Once you are there in the family life, you are forced to tell lies. You are forced to do some akramas. You are forced to cheat other people. You are forced to select dubious means to make money. But if somebody wants to stay in the family life and yet follow dharma, that is where Mahatma Vedanta Deshika set an example. You know, Mahatma Vedanta Ramanuja, Bhagavad Ramanuja took sannyasam, renounced. But Vedanta Deshika did not renounce. He remained as a family man until his death. He had a wife, he had a son, he lived with them. Even though he was living with a family, he lived more than a sannyasi. Money, he did not do a job to earn. What all he did, just keep singing the praise of the Lord. So how to feed the wife and a child? Just go and beg in the streets. Take a small vessel. He will calculate myself, wife and child. At the most we need 3 cups of rice. At the most we need 10 okras or something. At the most we need a little bit of tamarind, a little bit of this thing. That's all. He will take a small vessel that can hold them. He will be just doing Vunchavrutti, walking in the streets and begging. Harinamam and walking. He won't stop in front of any house. He won't ask anyone for anything. Haridasa Vritti, Vunchavrutti. When people will be craving for a Mahatma like Deshika to come, the minute he appears, they feel so fortunate to give him something. They give him, some people rice, some people vegetables, some people tamarind, some people salt, some people dal, like that. The minute Vedanta Deshika feels that vessel he was holding is full, that means he knows enough for today. He will go back. His wife will cook. They will offer Bhagavan. They will eat and they are happy for the day. Every day. In fact, even Kurattalvan, Kuresha Mishra, was once a millionaire in Kanchipuram. Used to feed thousands of devotees every day that come for darshanam of Varadaraja. But when he decided to surrender to his Acharya Bhagavad Ramanuja, he left all the property, everything to his children, requesting them to continue the Dharma Karyam. He came to Srirangam, stayed with Ramanuja, and for his food, he was literally begging in the streets. You know it. One day it was raining heavily, downpour. Kuresha Mishra could not even go out for begging to get some rice for himself and his wife. He just completed the Aradhana. He took the Tirtham. He gave Tirtham to his wife, Salagrama Tirtham. And when you do Aradhana, they put some tulasi, they offer some tulasi there. And he took a little bit of tulasi that is offered to Bhagavan along with the Tirtham and enjoyed having the tulasi in his mouth and started joking with his wife. Ah, could you see? I feel so happy, as though I have taken a good meal, and the tulasi I am having in my mouth is like the betel leaves and betel nuts that use tambulam after lunch. He can say that in a lighter way. His wife felt miserable that a Mahatma, a millionaire, who has given food to thousands of people every day, is going without any food today. Same time, the priests were offering prasadam to Ranganatha in Srirangam. When they offer, they ring the bell. That is indicating some people in very religious places, they will not eat their food until they hear the bell ringing in the temple. That means Ranganatha is offered lunch, then we can have. When she heard the temple bells ringing, in her own mind she thought, Ranganatha, you are the supreme Lord. You know everything. Don't you know you are pure devotee? My husband, Kuratalwan, Kuresha Mishra, did Annadanam to thousands of devotees every day. Don't you know he is here living by Vunchavritti? Don't you know today he did not even get any food to eat? What all he took today is 3 spoons of your tirtham and 1 tulasi dalam. And he is feeling so happy with that, that not only he has eaten, he has got the tambulam also to enjoy. He may feel that way, Swami, but I cannot feel. He is my husband. He is my Lord. He is way ahead of you, even for me. As far as I am concerned, my husband is my Daivam. She just asked Ranganatha a straight question. How can you eat when your pure devotee is going, he is starving here? Ranganatha, how could you eat when your pure devotee is starving here? You know the power of purity. The purity of her gave the shock to Lord Ranganatha. Not that he is aware, not aware of, but the words from that Pativrata were like a shock to Bhagavan Ranganatha. Immediately he ordered all those praise. Enough, enough, enough. You have offered, I enjoy. Now, take this prasadam and gave it to Kuratalwan, Kuresha's, deliver in Kuratalwar's house. That's it. The priest brought so much of prasadam from the temple to Kuratalwan's house and gave them. Kuratalwar was surprised. I never asked Bhagavan for anything. Why are you giving it? Priest said, we don't know. All of a sudden, Bhagavan told us, give this prasadam to Kuratalwan's house. And they went away. They kept the prasadam there and went away. Kuratalwan called his wife and said, I did not ask Bhagavan to get me prasadam. By any chance did you ask? She told the truth. Why asking? I questioned Ranganatha. For you, Ranganatha may be the Lord. For you, Sriman Narayana may be the Lord. But for me, you are my Lord. When you go starving, how can I take it? I straight away asked this question to Ranganatha. How could you enjoy your lunch when your pure devotee is starving here? Yes, I asked. Your Narayana is great for you, sir, but my husband is more than Narayana to me. Kuratalwan smiled and said, so, good lady, you are the one who asked for it. Good, you are the one who is going to eat it. Made his wife eat that prasadam. Of course, Bhagavan's will, at such an advanced age, Kuratalwan's wife became pregnant. She delivered the wonderful children, Parashara Bhattar and Vyasa Bhattar. Bhagavan will take care of you. Sri Kriti, is your question answered?
Yes, Swamiji, Narayana.
Will you be a good girl, Sri Kriti?
Yes, Swamiji.
Krishna doesn't care, Sri Kriti, in which family you are born. Krishna doesn't care whether you're born as a boy or a girl. Krishna doesn't care whether you did lot of charity or not. What all Krishna cares? Do you have a pure heart to love Krishna? That's all. Good. Now let's go back to Dharma. What are the things that are leading to Swargam? What are the things that are leading to Narakam? Even though we are doing certain things here on the planet Earth to worship Bhagavan and to offer the Pinda Pradhanam to the departed souls, be very careful in the selection. Look for a good priest. Look for a person who is not craving for your money, who is talking nice words in front of you only for money, who wants to live only by the money you give for doing Daiva Karyam or Pitru Karyam. No, they are unfit. If the priests are not following Dharma, they are unfit to follow, they are unfit to be priests or for conducting Pitru Karyas. Therefore, whenever you want to do some pujas, make sure you get the right priest who will not be interested in your money, but will be interested only to help you to make progress spiritually. Now, do you know in the good olden days, even now, people do money business. Money business means giving money to you for interest. When you borrow money, you have to pay interest. So the people who are dealing with money and trading for interest, they are unfit to do Bhagavat Karyam or Pitru Karyam. I know there are people today, 10 people, Divakar, Revati, Shailaja, Sadashiva, Chakradhar, and Sunita, Srikriti. There's only one person whom I don't know. Sushma, you understand Telugu? There's a devotee there. Sushma, you understand Telugu?
No, Swamiji, I don't understand Telugu. I'm a Hindi
The
speaking
reason I
here.
asked is, if all of you are Telugu, I can explain Telugu, that's all. If people are there, even though they are working as praise, but they have so much money, they loan that money for interest and they collect the interest and enjoy luxuries. Such people, even though they are praised, they are unfit to do services for Bhagavan as well as for Pitru Karyams. Lending money for interest is prohibited. And again another one. Ajapa brahmanas chaiva shraddhe narhanti ketanam. They may be looking like praise. The outer appearance may look like praise. If they don't do their Sandhya Vandanam and Japam every day, they are unfit to be the priest or to come and do the Pitrukaryam for the departed souls. Ajapa Brahmanas Chaiva Shraddhe Narhanti Ketanam. Japam and Sandhya Vandanam are a must for a person. Natveva Vanijam Tata Shraddhe Cha Parikalpayet. If a true Brahmana is there, if there is a war and even if he followed Kshatriya Dharmam, he is eligible to be worshipping the Bhagavan or Pitrukaryams. But a person, namesake a Brahmana, but is indulging in business activities, Natveva Vanijam Tata Shraddhe Cha Parikalpayet. Never, never, never invite such people for either to officiate your pujas or the pitrukaryas. Now, when people are there going and doing things in their own way, how can we make sure that the dhanam we are doing is to the right person, and the dhanam we do will give us a swarga phalam or other punya phalam? How do you know? In a very beautiful way, Bhishma Pitamaha is explaining. Akalkasya viprasya raukshyat karakrutatmanaha vatavo yasya bhikshanti tebhyo dattam mahaphalam. Okay, suppose there is a poor man. He has to feed his children. A true priest will not save anything for tomorrow. Every day, whatever they get, they depend on that for that day. Suppose there are no pujas, no income, nothing. Naturally, on those days, they go and beg, Vunchavritti. When such a person is there begging and you give them some food, the minute he goes home, if the children are running to him and the food that is there in his hands is directly taken away by the children who are just waiting for the food for the father to bring and eat, if he can give dhanam to such a person, you will have 100% effect. Suppose some priest is there buying property after property, investment properties, etc., living a luxury life, giving dhanam to such people, Bhagavan will not be happy. If that person is so poor that by the time he brought the food home, the children could not even wait for the food to be given in individual plates to the kids. The kids run to him and grab the food from his hands and eat right away. To such a people, to such a person, the dhanam you do will have 100% effect. Dana phalam. Then, what is the greatness of telling Satyam? Anybody who is not telling the truth is sure to go to hell. And we will come across in Mahabharata how Yudhishthira has to go to hell for not telling the truth. We'll come to that. Are there any exceptions to this telling truth? Emma, can anyone of you guess?
To save a cow, Swamiji?
To save, yeah. Gorakshana Samhita.
Entama?
To save a cow, Swamiji?
To save a cow. Go ahead. What else?
When there is an imminent danger to someone's life, not to
When there is imminent danger to
someone's life.
someone's life. Okay. Go ahead, Amma. What else?
For Bhagavan.
For Bhagavan. Go ahead. Anything else?
To protect Dharma, Swamiji?
To protect.
Dharma?
To protect dharma. Okay. They're all good. You know what Bhishma Pitamaha says? If you want to serve your teacher, if you want to serve your teacher, Even if you tell a lie, it's not going to be sinful to you. And the second one, you promise to protect someone. You promise to protect someone. And to protect someone, even if you tell a lie, it's not sin. Very clearly he says, Gurvardhan Abhayardham Va. Gurvardhan, for benefiting your Acharya. Abhayardham Va. Bhagavan Krishna promised Arjuna and Duryodhana before Kurukshetra war, I will not take up weapons. Only I'll do some little help what I can do. I have 10,000 great heroes in my army. Yadava Sainyam. All of them are on one side. Myself alone. I will not use any weapons. I will not take up weapons. I'll just help what little I can. Choose what you want. Arjuna wanted Krishna. Duryodhana was happy with the 10,000 10,000 soldiers battalion. Krishna said not to use weapons, but Krishna promised to protect Arjuna. When Arjuna was hesitating to kill Bhishma, and as Bhishma was just raging in Mahabharata war, Krishna wanted to break his promise that he will not take up weapons. Because Abhaya Pradhanam, he promised to protect Arjuna. He jumped from the chariot, took a broken chariot wheel, made it into Sudarshan Chakra, and was rushing. Therefore, for Abhaya Pradhanam, to keep up your word that you will protect someone, or you want to protect your Acharya, Gurvardham Abhayardham Va. They are the only two cases where even if you tell a lie, it will not take you to hell. When it comes to Narakam, Paradara Paradarabimarshinaha, Paradara Prayoktaraha, Tevai Nirayagaminaha. Be happy with your husband. Be happy with your wife. Anyone who wants to have, any woman who wants to enjoy with another woman's husband, any man who wants to enjoy with another man's wife, is sure to go to hell. Narakam. People who cheat orphans, people who cheat children, people who cheat old people, people who cheat people who are completely in meditation, they are sure to go to hell. You understand what is meant by cheating orphans, Amma? In the name of running an orphanage, giving minimum requirements to the children, but with that money enjoying luxuries and comfort. That's called cheating the orphans. They're all sure to go to hell. Now, many times I requested all of you to become vegetarians. Jiva Himsa is Mahapapam. Mahabharata very clearly says, Prani Himsa Pravrittascha Tevai Narayagamina. One who wants to enjoy killing the animals and eating their flesh is sure to go to hell. Prani Himsa Pravrittascha Tevai Nirayagamina. Nirayam means hell. Veda Vikrayanashchaiva. Those people who study the Vedas and sell the Vedas. You want to have some puja done, Veda Parayana. Unless you pay me $500, I will not come and do. Such people will go to hell. Vedam should never be sold. You just do your dharmam. You do the Parayanam. Afterwards, if they give some sambhavana, means out of goodwill, if they give you some gift, that's all you can take. They don't give, you should not ask. You demand money and tell Vedam, sure to go to hell. Now, there are many, 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 many ways. Some people, they promise, I will help you. I will do something for you. I will help you for your daughter's marriage. Or people who promise other people that I'll give you something, I'll give you something, and will never do that. Such people will go to hell. Samshuchya cha apradataraha. Apradataraha, one who promises to give something, to donate something, and will never do that. Such people are sure to go to hell. Now, as grihasthas, remember, do some simple things to avoid going to hell. Namely, balanam adha vruddhanam dasanam chaivaye naraha adatya bhakshayantyagre tevai narayagamina. No offenses. Can one of you answer, Amma? Sunita Lakshmi, when you were in India, you had servants, Amma, in your house. Servants means the people who come to clean your house, to wash your clothes, etc., etc.
Yes, Acharya, sometimes.
Generally, there is a function, say. Generally, there is a function. All the people will come and work. So, generally, you give them some food, right, Amma?
Yes, Acharya.
When do you give them food? When all
After
the guests have
everyone,
eaten, when you have eaten, then only you give to the servants, right, Amma?
sometimes they used to cook separately and give earlier to Acharya.
Yeah, okay. You know what Dharma says? Nare, 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 nare. Kuchaya. Chalaya, chalaya, chalaya. Kuchaya, kuchaya, chalaya, chalaya. Okay. So here it says, if you are the host, if there are children, if there are elderly people, and if there are servants, before you eat, you should feed them. If you eat before feeding the children, before feeding the elders, and even if they are servants, you should feed them first. You should feed the servants, children, and the elders first, then only you should eat. Anybody who eats before feeding the children, elders, and the servants, they are reserving their place in hell. Now, Vivrutta Madhumamsebhyaha Swargagaminaha. Those people who avoid alcohol, those people who avoid flesh, meat eating, only such people can get heavens. Rest of them, taking alcohol and meat eating, will lead to Narakavasam. That is how Mahabharata gives some instructions about how to avoid going to hell. Now, what is the greatness of Annadanam? Mahabharata talks about Dharmam, Annadanam. Straight away, To Yudhishthira's question, Bhishma is replying, Annena sadrusham danam na bhutam na bhavishyati tasmat annam viseshena datumichanti manavaha. Narada Maharshi Yudhishthira asked Bhishma. Bhishma says, once upon a time I asked Narada. Narada gave me this reply. There is nothing equal to Annadanam. There is nothing equal to Annadanam. Na bhuto, na bhavishyati. There was nothing equal to Annadanam in the past. There will be nothing equal to Annadanam in the future. Tasmat annam viseshena dhatumichanti manavaha. Since nothing can equal Annadanam, distribute as much food as you can to the hungry, to the needy, and to the poor. Can you get a better statement than this? Annena sadrusham danam na bhutam na bhavishyati. There is nothing equal to Annadanam, either in the past or in the future. That's why Annadanam is considered as great. While doing Annadanam, it doesn't matter whether you have given that Annadanam to the priests or to the working class people or to anybody. While doing Annadanam, it doesn't matter whom you are feeding. Anybody who is hungry, do Annadanam. When anybody comes and says, Dehi iti yachate, see how beautifully Mahabharata says, Brahmano hi mahatbhutam swayam dehi ita yachati akamo va sakamo va datya punyam avapnaya. When a person who is following Vaidika Dharma means completely surrendering to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana and remaining loyal only to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. Such people are called Vaidikas. If such a person is there in need and he begs anybody, Dehi iti yachate. Dehi iti yachate. One who says, one who follows Dharma, and when in trouble, when that person is begging for food or money or shelter, whether it is for your desires or no desires, if you can help such good people, especially if it is food that he is asking, if you can give them, you have done the greatest of the greatest dana. Therefore, under any circumstances, Yete lokaha punyakrutaha annadana mahatmanam tasmadannam prayatnena dantavyam manavair bhuvi. When you do annadanam, you will go to that kind of worlds like Swargalokam, where you will enjoy all Swarga Bhogas. There is nothing equal to Annadanam. Whatever worlds the people who do Punya Karyas, they go to doing Yajna Jagadi Kratus. Even the person who does Annadanam will get to the same lokas just by doing Annadanam itself. And if you can do Suvarnadana Mahima, Suvarnam means gold. If somebody can do gold Danam, Atri Maharshi said this. Sarvan kaman prayachanti ye prayachanti kanchanam. If somebody is having some unfulfilled desires, do hiranyadanam, means do give gold as danam. Your desires will be fulfilled. Now, if you cannot do suvarna danam, you know what they say? At least if some poor people are there, in the good olden days, there are no electric stoves, there are no gas stoves. Only the firewood they take, they burn, and they cook with the firewood. Even if you can give donation of firewood where annadanam is done, even that will give you uttamagatis. When the firewood you give, even for the people to cook and eat can give you uttamalokas. Mahabharata says, why talk about if you can give gold as dhanam? Again, coming back to the different context about Annadana Mahima also, repeatedly it is mentioned. Annadanam, even Jaladanam. If you do not have enough money to do Annadanam, even if you can collect some water and distribute to people who are thirsty, you will get wonderful benefits, even by doing Jaladanam to the thirsty. Now comes the most difficult aspect, ahimsa. Repeatedly, Mahabharata talks about ahimsa. I'm not saying during Mahabharata time they did not eat meat, they ate, but they suffered. Everyone has to pay a price. Now here comes the discussion on killing the animals or eating meat. Mahabharata in the Anushasana Parva, 114, 15 and 16th chapters, deals extensively about hurting the animals, killing the animals, and people eating non-vegetarian food. At least tell your friends to read Mahabharata. Now here comes Yudhishthira is asking, Manasa Vacha Karmana, how to practice ahimsa, non-violence. Manasa Vacha Karmana. Bhishma is telling, Yudhishthira, you asked the right question. Do not think I do not eat meat will qualify you that you are practicing ahimsa. Manasa, even in your mind you should never think I should eat meat. Vacha, never encourage with your words meat eating. Karmana, with your actions never hurt animals. In addition to this, do not eat meat yourself. All four are called ahimsa. Ahimsa is not just stopping physical killing of animals. Even mental contemplation should not be there. Words of encouragement to hurt animals should not be there. Physical hurting should not be there. and eating meat should not. All four are called ahimsa. You know, in a very beautiful way, he says, some people say we follow dharma, but they keep on killing animals and eating. Dharma Devata has 4 feet: Satyam, Daya, Danam, Shaucham. Daya means not killing other animals. If you have pity, if you have mercy, how can you kill? You take a cow, you cut off one leg, only 3 legs. Can a cow survive? How can the cow walk? You take a horse, you break one leg. Can a horse move? So, any animal that is there needs 4 legs to survive, to stand, and to walk, and to run. As it cannot survive even if one foot is cut off. Same way, Dharma Devata cannot survive, but Dharma Devata will be limping if Daya is not followed. An animal needs 4 feet. One leg is cut off, it cannot move, it is limping. Dharma Devata, you don't follow Ahimsa. You are cutting off 1 foot of Dharma Devata. Dharma Devata is limping. He is very clearly saying, Trikaranam tu nirdishtam shruyate brahmavadibihi mano vachi tadha syade dosha sheshu pratishtitaha. Mahatmas have said, some people don't physically eat, but before they were eating, now they stopped it. But mentally they will be contemplating, oh, I missed eating chicken, I missed eating meat, etc. Even if you contemplate in your mind to eat, it is a sin. Even if you encourage others to eat meat with your words, it is sin. And even if you do it physically, eating is a sin. Trikarana Shuddhi should be there for practicing ahimsa. This is actually very, very strong dose. I don't know how people will take it, but this is what Bhishma Pitamaha says in Mahabharata. Putra mamsopamam janan khadate yo vichakshanaha mamsam moha samyuktaha purushaha so adhamasputaha. Bhishma is asking a blunt question. Will you kill your own son and eat that flesh? Nobody will ever do that. Nobody. Putra mamsa upamam janan. See how clearly it says putra mamsa. Nobody will kill their own son and eat that mamsam, that flesh. If that is the case, how come you are not thinking the animal that you are killing and eating? In what way it is different between eating the flesh of your own son and eating the flesh of another animal? Putra mansa upamam means exactly the same. Janan khadate yaha avichakshanaha. Such people are considered as the lowest of the lowest, and they cannot get uttamagati. So here is another one which is rather very strange. Prashamsa hena mamsasya dosha karma phalanvita. you may not physically eat meat. You may not physically eat meat. But if you encourage others to eat meat, that will give the same sin as you are eating meat. Now comes the difficult one. Suppose you tell somebody, oh, you want to become a good athlete, you need strength, so you better eat meat and you build up your muscle. You get the same sin as eating meat. So do not think only by physically eating you get the sin, but even if you encourage others to eat, you get the same sin. Bhishma is telling, if you want to follow dharma, stop killing animals and stop eating non-vegetarian food. Why? If you can avoid alcohol and meat eating, you get the same punyam as though you have done Ashwamedha Yagam. Yo yajeta Ashwamedhena masi masi yatavratah varjayet madhumam sancha samam etat yudhishthira. You get the same punya phalam as though you have done Ashwamedha Yagam. Madhu mamsam varjayet. If you can avoid meat eating and taking alcoholic drinks. Now, when somebody says I am strong, look at my muscles if they are showing. You know how a Mahatma thinks? Unfortunately, for building up your muscles, how much you have taken other animals' flesh. The muscles that you are showing off, are they built on the flesh of other animals? Sorry, you are sure to go to hell. That's what Bhishma says. Swamamsam paramamsena yo vardhayitumicchati. Swamamsam, your own muscles. Paramamsena, by eating others' flesh. Vardhayitumicchati. One who wants to develop your own muscles by eating the flesh of other animals. No, Nirayam. They are sure to go to hell, he says. Most of us, we hear this word, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. The greatest dharma is non-violence, ahimsa. It is very sad we were told only one line. That is the first line of the shlokam that has 4 lines. Now remember, I will try to send it, or somebody try to send me a small note. I will try to remember and reply you and post in some of the groups. Mahabharata Anushasana Parvam, 115th chapter, verse number 23. This is the complete verse. The first line is Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. Tadha Ahimsa Param Tapaha. Ahimsa Paramam Satyam. Yato Dharmaha Pravartate. That is the full shlokam. Unfortunately, they should have told us the full shlokam. They gave us always the first line. Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. The greatest dharma is non-violence. Tadha Ahimsa Parantapaha. Ahimsa is the greatest meditation that you can do. Dharmasya Ayatanam Shreshtam. Ahimsa Paramam Satyam. Ahimsa is the Parama Satyam, greatest truth. यतो धर्मः प्रवृत्तये यतो धर्मः प्रवृत्तये చెప్పమ్మా ఏమని భయపెట్టద్దు ఆమెకు నాతో మాట్లాడాలని అంత ఇదిగా ఉంది కదా షీ హాస్ సో మచ్ టు టెల్ మీ నరేన్ నరేన్ ఓకే నరేన్ 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 సో here comes the dharmam given by Bhishma. Here comes the dharma of Bhishma Pitamaha, namely ahimsa paramo dharma. Non-violence is the greatest dharma. Ahimsa param tapaha, ahimsa paramam satyam, yato dharma pravartate. In fact, dharmam comes from ahimsa. Therefore, practice non-violence. Dharmam. Now it says, I am not eating meat, I am only doing business. I am killing them for the sake of other people. Mahabharata says, Yadi chet khadako nasya satata ghatako bhave. If there is nobody to eat, nobody will kill the animals. If there is nobody to eat meat, why will anybody kill them? Because there are people who eat, that's why animals are getting killed. Therefore, do not say, you go to the supermarket and you buy okra. I go to the supermarket, I buy chicken, because I'm not killing it. No. It says, because you are eating, somebody is killing. Then you may say, I'm not killing, therefore, I will not get lot of sin. You remember I was telling you 6 people will get sin whenever an animal is killed? I'm not joking with you. This is from Mahabharata, Anushasana Parvam, 115th chapter, verse number 43. Aharta cha ananta cha vishasta krayavikrayi samskarta chapabhokta cha khadhakaha sarva evate. The person who is bringing an animal, okay, you can kill this. The person who is giving permission, okay, kill it, I'll take care of the consequences. The person who is actually killing, the person who is selling it for a profit, the person who is buying it, the person who is cooking it, and the person who is eating it, all of them are equally culpable. Not all of them are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In fact, actually, I thought only 6, but there is a 7th one also. Namely, I thought the person who is giving the permission, the person who is actually killing, who is selling, who is buying, who is cooking, who is eating. I forgot that there is a 7th one. The person who is bringing the animal also for slaughter. All of them are equally culpable. Don't say my share is only 100 by 7, 14.5%. No, all 7 of them will get 100% of that sin. Remember, sir, if you want, remind me, I will send you. Aharta cha anumanta cha vishasta kraya vikrayi samskarta chapa bhokta cha khadakaha sarva evate. See dharmam. Now you understand, Amma, why Mahabharata is taking so long. Literally, I have to read chapter by chapter looking for dharma, dharma, dharma. That's why Mahabharata, people don't go by that. They just listen to nice episodes of Mahabharata. They don't come to dharma in Mahabharata. That is the problem. You have seen, Emma, most of you have seen Mahabharata serial, right? They only show Mahabharata serial Draupadi, Swayamvaram, Pandavas, gambling. Did they any time explain about, don't kill animals? This is the greatest dharma in any of the serials. They show that that's it. Nobody will watch that serial. Everybody will turn off their TVs. Hmm? Therefore, aharta cha anumanta cha vishasta kraya vikrayi. Therefore, do not buy them, do not sell them. Now comes the greatness of Satyam. In the case of Satyam, he gives in a very beautiful way, tell the truth. Yes. Satyam vadata masatvam, Satyam dharmaha sanatanaha, Harishchandra shirati vaidivi, Satyena chandravat. Always tell the truth. Never tell a lie. Satyam is the greatest dharmam. And Harishchandra became so great only because of Satyam. I told you some time back, you did not believe me. Meat eating. Today, again, I'm sorry, Dharma topic is based on this. When you are eating non-veg, you are saying, I am eating meat. Meat in Sanskrit is called mamsaha. Mamsaha means you are telling, I am eating the chicken today. Next time I will become the chicken. Mam, myself, saha, that. I will become that. In fact, Mahabharata gives slightly the same way in a different way also. Why that word mamsa came? Mam sa bhakshayate yasya bhakshayishye tamapyaham etan mamsasya mamsatvam anubuddhasva bharata. The explanation I heard from my acharyas or my gurus was, when you are saying I am eating meat, mam saha, you are indirectly saying next time I will become that. Yes. Mahabharata says in a different way, you are eating, say for example, a chicken. The chicken which you are eating, it is thinking, mam sa bhakshayate yasmat bhakshayishe tamapyaham. That chicken is thinking, hey, you are eating me. Watch out, mam saha, next time I will eat you. Means, say for example, you are eating chicken. The chicken is saying, next time you will become the chicken and I will eat you. Mam sa bhakshayate yasmat bhakshayishe tamapyaham. I said only one, I heard only one half. The other half is in Mahabharata, namely, you are saying you will become the chicken. Then someone else will eat. That is the correction. Not someone else will eat. The same chicken that you are eating. He is thinking, today you are eating me. Watch out, tomorrow I will eat you. That's why the word mamsa came. Mam, myself, sa bhakshayate, that fellow is eating. Yasmat, similarly, bhakshayishye tam api aham. Likewise, I will eat you. Because it is thinking, etan mamsasya mamsatvam. That is how the word mamsa came for mamsa. Is that clear? Emma, are you able to follow that, Amma?
Narayana.
This is again not my saying. If your friends are having difficulty in understanding this, tell them to read Mahabharatam, Anushasanika Parvam, 116th chapter, 25th verse. Mam sa bhakshayate yasmat bhakshayishye tamapyaham. The chicken is thinking, you fellow, you are eating me today. I said, you will become a chicken. But the chicken is thinking, today you are eating me, next time you become the chicken, I will eat you. Therefore, follow Satyam, follow Dharmam. Again, remember, learn one verse at least today. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Tadha ahimsa parau damaha. Ahimsa param danam. Ahimsa paramam tapaha. Ahimsa is the greatest dharma. Ahimsa is the greatest satyam. Ahimsa is the greatest tapasya. Narayanamma, it is 7 o'clock. If you have questions, feel free. If not, I have my little friend here want to talk to me here. Right? You want to talk to me? You have a lot of things to talk to me, right? Okay.